Breaking news, y'all! Jay-Z has been cleared of all allegations in a major case, and Tony Buzbee has dismissed the lawsuit against both Jay-Z and Diddy. The question now is, what does this mean for the greater good, and what's going on with Tony Buzbee? Well, let's break it down because this is huge. So, Tony Buzbee, the lawyer handling the case, has officially dropped the entire lawsuit today. But here's the kicker. He was so sloppy that he actually forgot to list Jay-Z's name as a defendant when he filed the dismissal. And on top of that, today was the deadline for him to prove he was licensed to practice law in New York City, but he failed to show any proof of his credentials. Instead of providing the necessary documents, he went ahead and dismissed the case entirely against both Jay-Z and Diddy. Let's start by giving a shout out to Alex Spa, an incredible attorney who played a major role in turning this around. He really came through and made Tony Buzbee look completely unprofessional, to say the least. Some might even say he exposed Buzbee for allegedly trying to scam Jay-Z. But I have a few questions about this whole situation. Why didn't Buzbee just show proof of his license earlier? Why wait until the very last minute to drop the case? It makes no sense. I've heard whispers that this might have been coming earlier this week, when Buzbee dropped Bad Boy Records from the lawsuit. But some blogs misunderstood and thought the entire case was over. So this move by Buzbee really has some people scratching their heads. Now, I don't know exactly what Alex Spa charged Jay-Z for his legal services, but I can tell you this. Whatever it was, he proved his worth in gold. He successfully maneuvered his client, Jay-Z, out of a sticky situation with absolutely no PR fallout. Jay-Z came out of this looking like a winner in the court of law, no question. And remember, a few months ago, there was a lot of public doubt about Jay-Z's involvement in this case. I'll admit, I was one of the people dragging him, wondering if he was guilty. But here's the thing. Jay-Z could have settled this quietly before it even became public, if he had wanted to. So for all those people saying that he settled the case, Tony Buzbee is the one who looks suspicious right now. Here's why. I get that he released Jay-Z because there wasn't enough evidence against him, but why drop Diddy too? And why even file the case if there wasn't any solid proof in the first place? That's what I'm struggling to understand. Why go after both of them in the first place if there wasn't enough evidence? The Jay-Z situation? Yeah, I get it. I had heard earlier this week that the dismissal was coming, so it wasn't entirely unexpected. But the Diddy part? That's the real head-scratcher here. Buzbee's actions make him look incredibly questionable at best. I have a feeling this is going to cost him a lot of potential new clients, especially the serious ones who take their legal affairs seriously. And speaking of Roc Nation, they just released a statement today, and as you can imagine, they're gloating right now. They said, "Today is a victory. The frivolous, fictitious, and appalling allegations have been dismissed. This civil suit was without merit and was never going anywhere. The fictional tale they created was laughable. If not for the seriousness of the claims, I would not wish this experience on anyone. The trauma my wife, children, loved ones, and I endured can never be dismissed. Honestly, what they're saying is completely right." They're pointing out that some lawyer with an 1 to 800 number tried to use Jay-Z and Diddy's names to make a quick money grab. And when it became clear that the case wasn't going to hold up, they just dropped it without any consequences for their actions. The system has failed when this happens. The courts need to protect victims, of course, but they also need to protect the innocent from false accusations. There was no shred of evidence here. It's unfortunate that this whole case got this far in the first place. And this is bad for Tony Buzbee, for Diddy, and really for every victim who has been trying to get justice. I'm all for supporting real victims of crime. But Buzbee has done a disservice to the cause by letting this case go public without proper checks and balances. He let the supposed victim go on NBC News, and it's clear he didn't have everything lined up. You knew you were going up against billionaires. Why wasn't this done right? It's sloppy, and now it's a bad look for everyone involved. Whether Jay-Z settled, whether he was innocent, or whether Alex Spa simply outmaneuvered Buzbee, this whole situation has left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. I have to say, Buzbee's failure here makes every lawsuit against Diddy seem weaker in the eyes of naysayers. Diddy is smelling blood in the water, and he's going to go even harder now, especially with how this situation has unfolded. I expect more action from him, and honestly, I don't think it's going to be pretty. The reality is, I'm just glad that there wasn't a victim in this case, and I'm relieved that Jay-Z was proven innocent. That's the most important part. Justice should prevail. The goal here isn't about relishing in the trauma or treating this like some kind of spectacle. It's about ensuring that people are held accountable when they commit crimes, but also making sure innocent people aren't falsely accused. This whole situation just makes things more difficult for the real victims out there who are trying to get justice. We need to stay focused on that and not let this kind of legal mess distract from the real issues. Let me be crystal clear. I'm glad this was resolved without a victim. No one deserves to be falsely accused, and it's a relief that Jay-Z and Diddy didn't have to endure any more of the public fallout from these baseless allegations. But Tony Buzbee, this was a major misstep on his part, and I suspect it's going to have long-term consequences for his career. We're going to have to wait for a statement from him to really understand what happened here. But right now, it looks like he botched the case entirely. It's also worth noting that Alex Spa is really making a name for himself in the legal world. Not only did he manage to get Jay-Z off the hook, but he's also been involved in some high-profile cases, like the charges being dropped against Eric Adams and even securing a presidential pardon. This guy is making moves, and it's clear he knows what he's doing. He's one of the realest lawyers out there right now. In contrast, Tony Buzbee is really struggling, and I hate to say it, but his actions are undermining the credibility of anyone trying to pursue legitimate lawsuits in the future. It's a bad look for him, and it's a bad look for the entire legal system. The legal system is supposed to work to protect both the victims and the accused. But when cases like this happen, it only serves to make the whole process more complicated. So what's next for Buzbee? What happens with the supposed victim who filed the lawsuit? We can't even call her an alleged victim anymore because she dropped the case. At this point, I'm really waiting for an explanation from both Tony Buzbee and the woman who filed the suit. If this turns out to be what it looks like, it's a disaster for everyone involved, especially for Diddy, who is already in a vulnerable position with the feds. This whole mess is definitely going to raise more questions in the public eye. Everyone's waiting for Buzbee to explain what just happened, and right now, the silence is deafening. People are going to keep talking about it, but the real question is whether Buzbee can recover from this colossal mistake. He might have lost a lot of credibility, and I'm not sure how he's going to bounce back from it. Anyway, what do y'all think about all of this? Do you think Tony Buzbee was just trying to make a quick buck? Or is there more to this story that we're not seeing? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm traveling right now, but I'll try to get more videos up soon. Saturday is going to be a busy day, so make sure you stay locked in. Talk to y'all later.